If there's one thing Americans love more than low gas prices and a secure border, it's making sure our laws at least make actual sense in the decade in which we live. Right now, marijuana is categorized Schedule 1. Some of you don't follow federal drug laws like boomers follow the Grateful Dead, so I'll explain. It's the most dangerous category for substances that kill people. That's right, the federal government believes weed is just as bad as heroin and somehow worse than fentanyl. Fentanyl killing almost 200,000 people a year now? Weed kills like, I don't know, the motivation of a pizza delivery guy, maybe, but that's about it. Rescheduling is the government saying, okay, maybe this isn't the same as crack cocaine, and maybe doctors should be allowed to prescribe it without acting like they're handing out plutonium. And here's the kicker. We already have half the country allowed to use cannabis under the color of state law. States like Florida, California, Colorado, so many others, even red states, they've got dispensaries that look like Apple stores. You walk in and it's like a Genius bar for THC. People are paying taxes on it. Landlords are getting profitable tenants. Jobs are being created. And what's Uncle Sam doing? Pretending it's still a cartel product smuggled into the country in a hollowed out coconut? Rescheduling would mean more research, safer products, less of this mystery gummy from Chad's backpack situation. It would also mean banks can actually touch cannabis money without feeling like they're laundering cartel cash. Right now, these businesses are paying employees in envelopes of cash like they're extras in Goodfellas. And if President Trump does this, the game is over for Democrats at the ballot box. We could be the party that allows people to safely use marijuana without pretending it's for your glaucoma-ridden cat. It's populism meets practicality. Suddenly MAGA hats in line at the dispensary, patriots buying pre-rolls called 1776 Freedom Kush. Beautiful. Now, don't get me wrong, there are still people clutching their pearls saying buying marijuana is a gateway drug. Yeah, so is drinking Mountain Dew if you consume enough of it. In reality, marijuana is more like a gateway to eating 3 sleeves of Oreos and having deep thoughts about how ceiling fans work. If someone's moving onto the hard stuff, it's not because they started with weed, it's because our mental health system is a dumpster fire and fentanyl is cheaper than Tylenol in some places. Rescheduling also has a law and order angle that nobody talks about. You clear the nonsense marijuana charges out of the system and you free up the courts, the police, and prisons to deal with actual criminals. I'd rather have the cops chasing MS-13 than some guy in a fish t-shirt growing 3 plants in his garage. And let's not forget, the war on drugs has been a lot like many of the wars America has fought in my lifetime. We have battled for decades in the costliest and deadliest of ways, and the drugs have won. In the war on drugs, drugs won. We've spent billions of dollars locking up non-violent offenders for possession while ignoring the fact that the fentanyl crisis is pouring over the southern border like it's a Costco free sample day. If Trump reschedules marijuana, he can finally say, we're focusing on the real killers now. And I fixed this ridiculous policy the swamp ignored for half a century. Plus, imagine the trolling value. Every blue state governor who's been preaching legalization for years but never actually fixing anything, Trump can suddenly get it done. CNN's heads will explode. Rachel Maddow will be so triggered, not even the stickiest indica could calm her. The New York Times will run an op-ed titled, "Is Trump doing this just to win?" And the answer will, of course, be yes, and because it is the right thing to do. Here's the reality. America in 2025 is not America in 1970. Back then, weed was tied up with cancel culture, protests, and the smell of Woodstock. Now it's tied up with cancer treatment, PTSD relief for veterans, seizure control for kids, and yes, the guy who occasionally insists he can totally focus better after a hit. If rescheduling means more doctors can explore medical uses without jumping through 12 hoops and 4 DEA inspections, then why wouldn't we do that? The only real argument against it is, well, we've always done it this way. And if we stuck to that logic, we'd still be using rotary phones and thinking that margarine is health food. So here's my pitch. President Trump, reschedule marijuana. Do it big, do it loud. Sign the order with a gold Sharpie, hold it up for the cameras, and say this plant was treated more unfairly than I was, and that's saying something. It's good politics, it's good economics, and it's about time the federal government stopped pretending that Snoop Dogg and El Chapo are in the same business. And if anyone is still clutching their pearls, hand them a CBD gummy and tell them to take a walk.